good air conditioning. So we're on our way to the comic book show. Woo! I guess this will be the last Toronto comic book show of the summer, I suppose, right?
Oh yeah, I don't think the next one's till the fall in October or something
that's right.
like that.
So
not the last one of the year, second last one of the year.
401 north, 401 east, heading towards Toronto here. Okay, so it's about quarter after, so we got about 50 minutes to get there if we want to make the first draw. Jose actually won the draw last time, right? Was it the last time or the time before?
Time before.
Yeah, 2 shows ago.
Cool. I thought I got lucky there.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, there's some down here, I think.
We're early enough, we should score a spot. Let's see.
Let's go straight to the back.
Let's see.
Okay.
Well, we got parking in the main parking lot. That's only like the second time in history that's ever happened.
But if you notice, they cleared out all the trucks.
Yeah, that's good. 10 minutes before the first draw. So maybe Jose will win again.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
Oh yeah, no problem. Well, tell it. Cool, yeah. Do you have that one already?
No, Claws of the Cat.
Yeah.
Hellcat, yeah, the first 2 issues. Second issue doesn't look too bad. The first one's a little too worn for my taste.
Yeah.
It's got some...
So you want something in a higher grade?
Yeah, but you know what, 35 for issues 1 and 2, even though the issue 1 is probably about a 5, maybe.
Yeah.
It's not a bad price. That's a good price.
Cool, cool. Anything else in there, please?
Yeah.
We both have it.
Yeah, early 70s, horror titles, man. You'd be picked up cheap and decent condition.
I'd like to pick this one up eventually, but you know, the prices they're charging for this book is unbelievable.
Joe got a pretty good deal in the last Toronto Comic Book Show when he was here.
Yeah,
He picked up a really nice tight one for around $100. Some good-looking, fantastic fours, including 75. Mike picked up this book from Retro. It's a very good Galactus cover with the Silver Surfer. Nice red cover, tight, hard to find in good condition because obviously any wear will come out very cleanly on that.
Looking. I love those Kirby covers, eh?
Kirby covers. Look, here's another one.
Yeah.
Kind of like a box or a square frame one. White cover, tough to get, and again in high grade. Almost $100, you know, a little high. Well, look at that fight cover. Thing, Silver Surfer, Quartz Surfer. Wow, nice cover.
Yeah. $2,050.
Blue chipping compared to purple chipping, it still shows like crazy sound like that.
First purchase of the day. Yeah, another Toronto comic book show and another spectacular comic book show. Hope you guys liked that footage. That was, I guess, the last Toronto comic book show of the summer, I guess.
Yeah, the next was until the fall. This was our basically appetizer to the main course, which is the big beast known as Fan Expo. We did some shopping, and there was another great show. Great little show, lots of vendors. Picked up from a bunch of different vendors. Some I've never purchased from before. It's great seeing some rotations, some newer people there. Great books to be had. We're going to be featuring an unofficial girls rule, boys drool. For me, 6 of the 7 issues I feature will feature the ladies prominently kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah. How about you, Mike? Did you have a good weekend?
I loved it. I mean, I was on a limited budget, car problems, you know, and all, but still, sale. I went, hit every vendor first, looked around, really looked around this time. Then I sprung, and I was happy with the results so much.
Cool,
Good
cool.
snags, yeah.
And it goes without saying that I was the big loser this weekend.
I think I flipped you a pity book. Don't say what it was, but I felt so bad for Paul. I mean, look, he had a great time. He saw some good books. We interacted. We loved talking to some of the dealers out there.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Mark Sims from Big B and Barry. I bought a sweet, sweet book from you. We will be featuring in one of my segments. But yeah. There were some cool dealers. Some people we hadn't seen before there. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
but
gave him a red sticker for
Participation.
Yeah.
If you're giving out medals, gold and silver, there's no third or bronze here, man. Paul gets a participation ticket for it. He bought 2 books exactly, of which the 50% of the haulage is this book right here.
Well, yeah, you are correct. You are correct. It was actually my first acquisition of the day, and one of only 2. And I picked it up almost like right from the beginning. Obviously, from the Bat Cave, you can tell by the sticker.
Okay, this is, I guess, just from the look alone, this is a big issue, 300, and it's got a hologram X-foil cover. So again, are we talking a 90s book
It
there?
screams the 1990s.
Yeah, still a tasty cover. Who's the artist on that?
I don't know who the artist is, but I'll tell you a little bit about the book. First of all, I think it's pretty cool that it's a 300 issue. How many Marvel titles have gone to 300?
Well, obviously nothing in the last 20, 25 years,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
I mean, think about the time it takes to get to 300 issues.
Yeah.
And this is also the 30 years anniversary of X-Men as a title, 63 to 93.
That's for sure. That's for sure. And this is sort of a key of sorts.
Yeah.
It is a first appearance of the Acolytes. Now, if you don't know what the Acolytes are, it's a group of mutants that fanatically follow Magneto. They fanatically follow him, follow his teachings. They also follow his mandate that superhumans or mutant humans are better than other humans.
So sounds like a 21st century version of his Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
Kind of like that, yeah. And the whole concept of some humans being better than others is kind of poetic, given what's gone on in the States the last couple
in
weeks.
Charlottesville, yes, enough said. Some really distasteful and
Horrific
sad
stuff went on down there.
Yeah, well, let's not get political, but yeah, the optics on it weren't good. But this is a good, tasty looking book. How much did you pay for it? $10 bucks, right?
I paid $10, and I didn't get a deal. Again,
From the Bat Cave?
From the Bat Cave. If you look at the realm, even in 9.8, this is only going to run you about $7.5 US. So I got exactly what it's worth. This is a near mint copy. So I mean that I love, and I love the cover. I love the whole full. I love shiny things.
And you know what? From the first run of X-Men, which is what you want, with all the other X titles that have come out over the last 10, 15 years, this is still from the first series, the 300th issue. Nice pickup.
Thanks, guys. Okay, no more of this. Let's go on to the next cool book. Okay, next up we got Big Mike with a real nice 12-cent Silver Age cover. It's House of Mystery number 160, picked up last week. Wow, Mike, that's a really nice book.
Yeah, I see a lot of these Dial H for Hero books throughout a whole bunch of different vendors and stuff like that, and I'm not sure exactly, obviously they're bringing them to sell. Obviously they're kind of popular. I know nothing about it, but I wanted to spring on one.
Yeah, I know nothing.
Yeah, the guy had written some interesting stuff on it. I'll just show that real quick. And that maybe, want to kind of like spring on this and then try to learn about it and figure it out and stuff like that. So what I know about House of Mystery, Volume 1, is it started in December 51 until October 83, totaling 321 issues.
There's a run we did over 300, but look what it takes and over that time.
I know, eh? So Dial H for Hero started at 156 to 173. So this is 1966 to 1968. A couple years for this Dial H.
So what you're saying essentially here, and if people don't understand that this was an anthology title, so it had different stories.
Well, it started off as horror and mystery stuff, but then you had that whole
superhero, and
then they had to bring in the superheroes because horror stuff was bad for kids. Apparently, that whole blah 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 about that. But what's cool about this, and it was listed as the first Silver Age appearance of Plastic Man, and that I thought that's cool.
That's cool.
That's a cool fact.
Yeah,
right
he's
there.
a hero from the Golden Age.
Now, his first appearance, Plastic Man, was in Police Comics 1941. So if you're thinking, hey, this Plastic Man rips off Reed Richards, no way, man. It's the other way around, right? This guy was around a lot longer, obviously. Now, This also states, if you look at the CGC heading, if it was CGC, it would say that it's also an intro to Marco Xavier as Martian Manhunter. Now we all know that he's not Martian Manhunter. I've seen him throughout all kinds of modern books that I read. Martian Manhunter is an alien. So who's this Marcus dude? Is the fact that when you dial the number hero, you're bestowed the powers of a superhero for a day. So that's how he's got his intro listed as that. So that's kind of neat. So all this neatness, you know, put together, given the fact that the price was dirt cheap, man. In US dollars, $13.12. It's worth about $88.
Really?
This is the same guy who we got our killer X-Men books from the last con that we showed. So, I mean, yeah, his discounts are steep and well worth it. He's got a lot of sets that for starter people who are just starting out and stuff like that, if you wanted to buy sets. So, and he's always there. So, yeah, I mean, July 1966, number 60, Jim Mooney cover. I thought I'd spring on it.
Cool.
Yeah, I think what you're doing there is exploiting a gap in the market for a title that probably for those characters is not as popular. And when you're talking relevance, I mean, it seems that the market is largely driven by younger collectors with disposable incomes that want the newer stuff, and something that doesn't ring to them. It might get a steep discount in the market right now, and that's interesting saying something like that, considering we are very much in the seller's market, and it seems that everything is selling, especially if it's a good grade. Yeah, you spoke to the grade about this. So what would you grade this out again?
Grade, I'm looking at it, and I was looking at one that was a 7.5 on the realm that was CGC, not the realm on eBay that was CGC.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of yelling that goes along this spine.
Oh, I can see it now in the light. Okay.
The 7.5 actually had it going all the way around like that, but I'm giving it a 7 just to be safe. I did open it up. The newsprint's nice. It has newsprint smell. Everything seems to be good with this book, so that's why you have such a huge gap. But I think it's the popularity factor that's probably why these vendors are just selling them so inexpensively.
Anyways, that's a fantastic book, Mike. Thanks for bringing it in.
Nice pickup.
Okay, in keeping with tradition like we've been trying to do lately, we're going to do our next segment with some modern books. Some really, really nice modern books that Jose picked up at this week's Toronto Comic Book Show. And I guess the first one is, what's that? Amazing Spider-Man number 15.
Yes, Amazing Spider-Man 15, the Alex Ross variant. Every once in a while, a comic image appears that just absolutely stops you in your tracks. Such is the case with this piece by fanboy fave painter Alex Ross. His work has been swiped by other artists many times over the years, partly because he offers a wonderfully iconic look of a character, but also because he's just that darn good.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Over the years, he's contributed greatly to the comic book industry. His pieces help sell books, period.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Now, this is the alternate cover for the 2016 edition of Amazing Spider-Man issue 15. In this issue, MJ is now Tony Stark's personal assistant, and for reasons not worth discussing, she gets an opportunity to put on the Iron Spider uniform once worn by Peter Parker.
Cool.
Yeah, Alex Ross's touches are perfect. There's the Romita-esque facial features for one thing, then add the metallic costume elements and the vibrant colors that flush her skin tones. Top it off with a jaunty pose and the decision to forego the mask. It all works so well. Now, I'm trying to decide if the real crime here is that I only paid $15 for this issue, or the fact that Paul, who claims Alex Ross as his personal fave artist, does not own a copy of this book yet. Our viewers can decide the crime on that one.
Well, the only reason I don't have a copy is because you found it first.
Yeah, that would do. Let's get into number 2 in the cover girls.
Let's flip the next one there, Mike. Let's see the next one.
Okay, so next, another iconic image here, Catwoman.
Wow.
Issue number 70. Yeah, this is either volume 2 or volume 3. There is some question. Mike and I have been talking about this recently, which we won't discuss it into here. In any case, it's from October of 2007. For me, personally, the definitive Adam Hughes Catwoman cover depicting a very Audrey Hepburn-looking Selena Kyle. Now,
That's for sure.
yeah, if you guys remember, I featured issue number 74, that gold safe mirror cover at the end of 2016. Another shout out for Steve. That was, if I remember, that was a Christmas birthday present, because my birthday is a December birthday. He got that book for me. Sweet deal from Retro Rare. Yeah, back then when I'm talking about that issue, I mentioned that this issue could then, about 8 months ago, have been had online for about 10-15 bucks US. Not anymore. That ship has sailed, boys and girls. If remember, the print run on this piece was 20,517 copies. Nothing too crazy. But the real point is that tough to find and high grade all red cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is one jalapeno pepper hot book right now with raw high grade copies going on eBay for 50 to 75 US. CGC 98 slabbers are going for 300 bucks and up.
You gotta love Alex Hughes. That's such a unique style.
He's going to be at the Fan Expo. This is definitely a book I will be bringing, and if he's charging a reasonable price, he will be signing.
Probably charging $5.
Damn, it's getting signed. Okay, CBCS will be there. I'll get it certified. So let's go to number one.
Number one.
And of course, who else could it be? Dun, dun, dun. Yes, Power Girl, my fave. Issue 2, Volume 2 from August 2009, the Adam Hughes variant now.
Yep.
This is Adam Hughes' second Power Girl cover, and Kara Zor-El has never looked finer. This is now my all-time favorite Power Girl cover, and it's no wonder that they use this Hughes image of Power Girl for the cover girls of the DC Universe series statues.
Yeah.
True,
Excellent, classic, iconic image of my favorite DC heroine. Makes the 30 bucks Canadian I paid for it seem like a trifle.
You know, I don't think you're getting out of here alive with this tonight, Jose. This is staying here with me.
Trifle.
Stay tuned for the Power Girl Museum coming.
Classic, iconic image of my favorite superhero. Yeah, like I go, Adam Hughes, he seems to go from strength to strength, in my opinion. He's the Antonio Vargas in his like precision-like depiction of the lady's strength, power, and look at that decision to cast her actually head and shoulders in shadow, and the motion of the cape flying behind her, giving it a sense of movement. Great cover. Raw high-grade copies are dropping on eBay for about 30 to 40 bucks US. And CGC 9.8 slabbers are starting at about 300 US.
You might even want to consider getting this signed and graded while you're at the Fan Expo.
If CBCS there, and since our modern books are going to be cheaper, I am definitely considering it.
But doesn't signing degrade the value of the book?
No.
Not if it's done and
Not a
done
modern book,
properly.
yeah.
No, it'll add to the value of it.
I think you're right. For something like a Incredible Hulk number 181, I wouldn't get it signed.
No, neither would I.
Yeah.
So it depends on
But for a guy who's known for these kind of, and like I said, I'm getting iconic images of Power Girl and Catwoman. I cannot be happy on these two pickups. I can't remember the dealer. It's one of those dealers that were across from Mark Sims, Big B from Barrie. One of those guys. They had some new modern books, they had a mishmash and stuff. Great pickups for me.
Fantastic books, Jose. Thanks for bringing them in.
Ooh, hoy, hoy. I think you wouldn't get much change from what I got. How much? For
So what grade would you say that one is?
Grade-wise, about a 6.5.
6.5?
5 plus.
Cool. There's the one I've been looking for. Question is, do I want to
Drop a C note.
drop a C note for it? That's the thing.
Years a long time. I'm right.
But I need to get it eventually.
Number one.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the second appearance of the Silver Age Penguin.
Yeah.
I agree.
A decent grade copy, a mid grader for the first Silver Age is going to run you between $400 and $500 in a nice grade.
It's not a bad grade there.
Yeah, for about 80-90% less for a second appearance, sure.
Not too bad. This Alex Ross cover.
Yeah, beautiful cover. Cover appeal, cover appeal, cover appeal. Nice. Okay, so in keeping with our theme of making the ladies front and center on this ladies episode, we got an eagle-eyed Mike pickup here. The new 52 Catwoman. Very tasty, atmospheric, romantic cover. Nice snag, Mike.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing a quick tie into two different things. Tonight's theme and then an earlier Bat family kind of tie-in from an earlier episode with Mike Mignola, so you'll see that one next.
Nice.
But basically, I started collecting regular run stuff in about 2013. I missed the first year of the new 52, so when I'm at BMV and I see an older copy of the earlier ones that I don't have,
You pop.
snag it. Nothing paid. It's high grade. Paid $1.50 for it. Worth about $3.30. Come on.
$1.50.
Yeah, $1.50. I mean, if you had this at, say, our own local store, it'd be about $4.25. So, so right there, that was it. I mean, it has the first appearance of Bone, who had 5 total appearances in Catwoman, two appearances in Catwoman, 3 in Batman Eternal. So he's a modern character. Haven't seen him in any of the older ages and stuff like that. That's all I gotta say about that, really.
Cool.
So in the
I just
second,
love it.
nice cover. Oh.
Here we got something.
Okay, now we're talking something good
Now
here.
we're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking a classic modern story, a 4-issue thing, The Death in the Family. This is the big one. This is where somebody big dies.
Yes, this is Mike Mignola and Anthony Tollin working on this thing. This is The Death of Robin 2, or Jason Todd.
Yeah, Jason Todd. You've recently featured Jason Todd's first appearance in an earlier episode. Interesting
That's
you
right.
named that. Did you know that
So it's
DC held, like I said, they held a kind of poll to people to vote in or call in, stuff like that, to see, to live or to die, and it just over 50, 40 something people, the public decided to kill him, and so they did.
So they did.
So they did. Not only that, but this is the last issue that Barbara Gordon goes under the name Barbara Gordon. After this issue, she becomes Oracle.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of groovy. It's kind of cool. This is a newer book, too. I guess it could go into the modern section. It's a December 88.
Copper Age book. Nice,
Yeah,
but
number
nice.
428. I'm happy. I mean, I paid $18.75 for it. U.S. converted into U.S. It's
And
worth
this-
about $40.50.
This is a very sought after modern book, that's for sure.
Yeah, this is a very popular series.
From an investment standpoint, trying to get the highest grade copy you can afford. I mean, it might command a small premium because it's a tough black cover.
I
Yeah.
give it a VF plus 8.5. It is sharp.
Is it your first in the 4 run, or do you have other ones, or are you completing
I
the
have
run?
2 of these, so I need another 2. And I had them in my hand, but I was shuffling around.
But wait a minute, it's only a 4-issue series. So how many do you got?
I got 2 of them.
Two with this one. So you need 2 more.
I need 2 more.
Two
Okay.
more to complete the run.
Yeah.
50% down, 50 to go.
Fantastic book, Mike. Thanks for bringing it in. Okay, so next up we got High End Jose, and I could see this cover coming a mile away. Amazing Spider-Man number 134. Wow, what a nice looking book, Jose.
Yeah, well, this is the solo title where the boys come out and play. I mean, I'm going to be featuring the ladies, all the other books of this, but this is the lone one where the boys come out to play, and in this case, the old Webhead and that man Tarantula. So, yes, Amazing Spider-Man 134 from July of 74. The second time that Spidey meets the Punisher, it is on the very last page of this issue. We, as readers, only really see the Punisher fully in the very last panel.
Cool.
The character does appear in 4 panels overall. Well, 2 only show his boots. The other has his leg, hand, and a gun. And the very last has the money shot that introduces us again to the character.
Cool.
Yeah. Overstreet and CGC just note this issue as a cameo, and I don't really think they'll budge on that. Overstreet does note Amazing Spider-Man issue 135 as the Punisher's second full appearance, so I'm gonna note this as his second cameo appearance. Okay, the Tarantula makes his first appearance debut in this issue right here as well, and his origin would be told in the next issue. Now,
Cool.
not a horrendously high number of copies have been graded by CGs for this issue so far. Guess Tarantula doesn't really have collectors sending in their copies to get graded on a grand scale. Perhaps neither does the second cameo of the Punisher. Still, a very nice minor key issue to add to your private stash. Yes, Amazing Spider-Man on the 47th Overstreet edition of the latest Overstreet Price Guide shows $41, $76, and $110 US for the 8, 9, and 9.2 splits on this boy. I paid $50 actually was the asking price. I paid $40 from the mom and pop. Grade wise, I think it's just under a VF, maybe a 7.5. Pressing might bring it to a full VF, but something around the VF minus. $41 at the VF, so like I said, around Canadian price for almost the grade in that.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at the next issue there. Also an amazing Spider-Man. We're going back in time here using the time machine to a title that Mike should recognize. Of course, this is Amazing Spider-Man issue 86 from July 1970. Early Bronze Age goodness.
Yeah.
First appearance of the black iconic costume of Black Widow. Yeah, it's a pretty important Black Widow key issue, boys and girls, and this issue marks the first appearance of the Widow's iconic black costume. Sometimes simple is just better. This new look also gave the Black Widow red hair and her iconic wristbands that fired a variety of weaponry. The most well-known, of course, is the electrostatic energy blast called the Widow's Bite. Cool Romita cover, seen there in Silhouette. Yeah, this issue saw the Black Widow recount her past as she tries to combine or emulate Spider-Man's power with her own abilities. So the webhead actually inspired this rebirth of the character in the comic story. Now, after fighting with Spidey briefly, the Black Widow comes to the conclusion that she shouldn't try to gain the secrets of Spider-Man's powers, and so she just craft her own destiny with her own unique abilities. Now, John Romita Sr. is the legendary comic book artist that gave us this redesigned and iconic Black Widow costume. A definite must-have for any Amazing Spider-Man or Black Widow fan, and I think this comic has the first published meeting between the Black Widow and Spider-Man, but I'm not entirely 100% sure of that. It does have the Black Widow's origin story told in a flashback. This was picked up from a dealer that was across from Mark Sims, Big B from Barrie, one of those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, Overstreet, the latest 47th Overstreet price splits for the 8, 9, and 9.2 grades on this are 73, 157, and 240 US for the 8, 9, and 9.2s. This is my bargain book of the comic. They had $60 on it. I paid $50 Canadian, no money paid. A nice, I would say again, we're flirting with a VF 8 grade 758 on this. Nice pickup at that price point.
Yeah, see, that's why I didn't pick any books, because I didn't find a deal like this. If I had found this book
For $50?
for $50, I would have picked it up in a New York Minute. But yeah, so I'd say you stole it, but you stole it off me.
So there's my contribution. Amazing Spider-Man, always the first series, always pick up. Again, iconic Black Widow, great cover, great importance as a key issue. Nice pickup. Mike, you'd agree since you own it also.
We're in the club. Paul's not.
Yes, join the club, Paul.
It's just a matter of time, guys. Just a matter of time. Anyways, that's a fantastic book, Jose. Thanks for bringing it in.
Hoy, hoy. Okay, for Mike's book here, wow, you can never go wrong as far as I'm concerned when you got talking about an Uncanny X-Men classic book. I cannot speak highly enough, and it makes me ashamed that I have so few. Great pickup, Mike. Let's hear about this book.
Okay, first off, Hagenland.
Yes.
I walk up there, I know these guys, dealt with them so long. They said, we've replenished our bins, come on, take a look.
Oh, are we talking this was in the big boy bins or the stuff behind what they usually keep over the cheap stuff?
They had a little piece of paper pasted on the wall that said high grade.
High grade, okay.
And this was up against the wall in the corner.
Okay, so it made you go deep into their booth, which is what they want.
I'm a Fantastic Four fan. I have my runs, and this is a run book. Nothing spectacular, too spectacular, but high grade. And this is a cover that deserves high grade. It's a dark cover, it's a very difficult cover, and I just couldn't see myself owning this book in a lesser grade.
And it's a classic, iconic burn cover with the ghosts of the supposedly dead X-Men there, ghostly, looking over the shoulders of Phoenix, the Beast, and Professor X. Yes, very atmospheric, moody, dark cover. I like it. I
really
like
nice.
it.
Yeah.
Really
Just
nice.
quickly in the storyline, the rest of the X-Men are in the Savage Land on vacation. These guys think they're dead, and everyone else in the X-Men think that these two guys are dead. It's a little whole bunch of a mix-up, which is kind of cool. That's the storyline, kind of like very briefly without giving anything away. But the cool thing about this is also that it's there's a Sauron cameo on the last page, and I'm not sure how often he's used.
He's the big bad, he's a pterodactyl-like kind of hybrid, like with a kind of like, you know, that dinosaur bird kind of head and a human body. He's very cool, strange looking. So let's get to the drum roll moment, please. So this is a high grade. Da-da-da-da. High grade to what extent?
To what extent? I give this about a 9.2.
I would agree.
Maybe a 9.
Yeah, this is
9.2.
Something starting with a 9, maybe a low 9. Sure, I think you're safe with a 9.
I paid $33.75 for this U.S. dollars.
Yeah, you can't go wrong there.
About $97.
Wow.
Very happy. The Hagenland always comes through. And this is October 78, of course, John Byrne. And also very cool, Uncanny. First time ever shown as Uncanny.
Really?
Is that true?
Yeah.
Really? We'd have to check that. And
Okay, I'm gonna have to check. You might be right. I mean,
that.
you probably are, but you know, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
No.
this is the first time. The very book before it. I'll have them all.
Cool.
Paul, then what you should
have
show
them all.
our viewers is issue 113 if that's the
Yeah,
case.
yeah, I'll show 113 to see if Mike is in fact. I mean, yeah, I'm sure you're correct, but it's just one of those things I've never even thought about.
But I've always thought of it as the Uncanny X-Men, and now it's a differentiating factor considering how many modern X-Men series and titles you have.
Actually not notarized as Uncanny X-Men until a few episodes after this. But anyway,
Interesting.
that's so check
Okay.
that out. Check
Wow.
that out. What else? What else? Oh, obviously Jean Grey and Professor Xavier leave the team in this team, but we've seen that happen so many times
Yeah,
before. Obviously, the story continues. That's all I gotta say about that.
It's like the death of blah blah blah, and then blah 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 comes back next episode.
Yeah, exactly. So
Well, I think the takeaway is that you're chipping away, and it seems like you've made some major dents in your X-Men run.
You're
Very
ahead of
nice.
me. You're ahead of me in the John Byrne department.
just
Excellent,
a
that's
few
for sure.
copies, I would think.
No, by a
If we
league
go
mile
through
for me.
all of them
Yeah.
real quickly, we could do that.
Okay, Mike, that's a fantastic book. Thanks for bringing it in.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, so High End Jose is bringing it home tonight with the final 2 books. Now, just to let you know, these aren't all the books we purchased this weekend at the Toronto Comic Book Show, but these are the ones we chose to show. There are many more books coming in future episodes from some of the acquisitions we've picked up, or at least the pickup of Mike and Jose. But these are the last 2 we're going to finish off with tonight, and they are 2 absolute gems. The first one here being, Justice League of America, number 75. Wow, Jose, very nice book.
Of course it is, yes. I've been circling this book like a shark now over the last at least couple of Toronto comic book shows. Mark Sims from Big B and Barry, he had this book at the last one. I looked at it, actually might have even shot footage of me pawing it, and, looking at, taking a look at it.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so like, I'm trying not to drool on it. So just like a shark, I've been circling and circling. Finally, I had to pop on this. Of course, anybody in the know knows that this is the second Black Canary Dinah Laurel Lance debut in this late silver, or if you want to say early Bronze Age issue, right here. Big key issue status for me. One of my faves of the ladies. Literally kicking ass and taking names in this one's. You see her in profile there. You don't need to see her face, man. Just that nice profile with her iconic fishnets and buccaneer boots. You know who we were talking about here, boys and girls. Yeah, she grew up hearing Justice Society of America members' stories about her mother's adventures as a heroine. And just like mommy, she was a good athlete, but she also had a metagene mutant
That's
that
right.
gave her the ultrasonic canary cry power. Now, in addition to knowing judo, her quote-unquote uncle, Ted Grant, a.k.a. Wildcat, taught her how to box. In addition to knowing judo, the other Justice America members also taught her different fighting styles and techniques, so she was multi-talented, yeah. Now, Dinah Lance was one of the first among the second-generation heroes as Black Canary 2. Now, she worked alone, she worked as part of the Justice League of America, and she was, of course, the primary bird of prey working for Oracle, the former Batgirl, Barbara Gordon.
Cool.
Now, of course, it was also during this time that she started a relationship with Green Arrow, Oliver Queen, that was one of the steamiest in mainstream comics. Great pickup. Like I said, I waited. I finally popped. We had a very good conversation, me and Mark, and he also had on his wall a CGC 8 VF copy that he wanted 300 for.
Wow.
I went basically my best shot. Like, Mark, I love the book. I'd love to have it. It's a nice mid-grade. I just can't pay a price starting with a 1. So the magic question here is, what's the number that's going to start the price? He looked at it and he goes, Jose, for you, and I've seen your episodes, yeah, I'll give it to you for $90, but I just can't go less than that.
That was nice of him.
Yeah, $90 Canadian. Yeah. So from the 47th Overstreet price guide, the 6, 8, 9, and 9.2 grade splits for this are 45, 103, 227, and 350 US for those grades. Mid-grader, I'd like to say it's a 6.5, and I'm pretty sure that it probably is. I don't know if paying extra to press it is going to solve the defects, which of course you can see in that tough black cover. It's not going to solve anything as far as the color breaks along the spine and the general slight wear around the borders of the book. It's not going to change the fact that it's got somewhat blunted corners. It's a mid-grader. I would go up as saying a 6.5. I mean, for that price, I mean, you might say 45 US. It's within line, but I think 45 is too low. I think something pricing wise above this book, I'd be 100 to 150 US, I would think, if not more. I mean, look at the differential for a VF. He had 300. A current VF is only 103 US, even taking into account the Canadian-American conversion. Obviously, Mark, a veteran dealer, knows what prices for these books are going in the market. And of course, the X factor. The last thing to say about this book is that the movie is coming out.
Cool.
Now, even though Black Canary will not be in there, I think the first series Justice League of America books, at least in mid-grade or higher, are going to get a nice pop. So again, defensive preventive buying. The best offense is a good defense. Buy these books that you want, that have important keys for you before the price pops because of a movie or TV series. So let's get to the final book of the evening, of course. And again, girls ruling, kicking ass, taking names. Here we have, of course, an iconic cover by Big John Buscema. This is Avengers issue number 83.
Wow.
Yes. Now, this is a first appearance of Valkyrie and her Lady Liberators. I've already mentioned this issue in the episode where I featured Defenders issue number 4. The character of Valkyrie is introduced in this issue, but if you guys know what I mean, in a kinda, sorta way. Now, it's actually a guise for the Enchantress of Asgard. Anyways, this issue is still considered Valkyrie's first appearance, and it's been hot since last year when actress Tessa Thompson was confirmed to star as the character, of course, in the Thor Ragnarok movie, dropping this November.
Cool.
Yes, yeah. Now, I think the film version of the character is just the Asgardian version of Brunhilde. Now, it would, of course, be kind of strange if she were the Samantha Parrington or the Barbara Norris incarnations of the character, if you know what I'm saying. The spirit of Brunhilde did possess these mortals, and eventually her true form was revealed in Defenders issue 109 back in 1982. Now, it would be personally kind of cool if the movie actually followed the comics lead and Tessa Thompson's Valkyrie character in Thor ends up being the Enchantress in an end credit scene or something. I'm just saying it would be cool.
It would be, yeah.
Not saying that it's happening, but that's my opinion. Now, regardless of how the next Thor movie, Ragnarok, plays out, this issue, of course, will always be a key and very sought after in the market. So, this kind of brings up the question, what is Valkyrie? And this is important to understand when sorting out this mess of a what to buy situation, okay? Now, Brunhilde was a warrior whose quote-unquote spirit is thousands of years old now. Her spirit is what the Enchantress of Asgard uses to change women into quote-unquote Valkyrie, if that explains things. Now, we have to know that there are over 840 assorted Valkyrie appearances in the Marvel Universe.
Wow.
Of this book, Avengers 83, Incredible Hulk 142, and Defenders issue 4, the trifecta of first appearances, are just the tip of the iceberg. Now, the character of Valkyrie is prominently featured in Fear Itself, The Fearless Defenders, volumes 1 and 2, Fearless Secret Avengers, Ultimates. It gets confusing, just to name a few. Any case, I want to say one last thing. Just to be clear about this so there's no confusion, one of the personal reasons for shooting my YouTube episodes featuring the books that I pick up is to help our viewers make better informed buying choices. I cannot emphasize enough that you, me, we are the market. We ultimately decide what to buy. Nobody's holding a gun to your head to run out and buy any of these books. No, I pass on this information to help educate new collectors entering the hobby so that they don't get screwed by shady claims about appearances and key issues of certain books.
Well, you're educating me, and I'm an old collector.
Yeah. Now, having said that, watching our episodes should be one of the many things to do while deciding what to buy. It should never be the only thing you do or factor in, or is a substitute for doing, of course, your own research, because God knows sometimes we make mistakes. We all make
That's
mistakes.
for sure.
So let's finish by saying the 47th Overstreet splits for this very, very, very hot book, and the 8, 9, and 9.2 grade splits are 76, 163, and 250 US, which of course are just very, very light.
Yeah.
But even at an 8.0 76, I paid $100 Canadian. That's the price for an 8.0 equivalent in Canadian. And I would think pressed, I think it's got a very good chance of coming back a VF8.
Yeah.
I am probably getting this book slapped.
That is a stunning copy, Jose, and there's no yellowing at all in the white areas. So yeah, you did really well. I'm super jealous, but I did get one.
You did, I did.
I did get one,
Yeah, okay.
Yes, you did.
but
Yeah.
a lesser copy than yours.
Because you couldn't just give him a sticker.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, guys, that's all we're going to show for tonight. I hope you liked what you saw. Now, the next episode after this one's going to be after the Fan Expo. So it's going to be a Fan Expo episode. Generally takes me a couple weeks to edit after getting all the footage. The next few weeks is going to be horrendously busy for us. We're going to be
Yes,
going
I agree.
absolutely crazy. So we're probably going to see you in 2 to 3 weeks. But if you like what you saw in this episode, leave a comment because we love reading them. And we will see you after the Toronto Fan Expo.
And if you're new, read some of the, watch some of the old ones.
Hoy hoy.
Yeah, more pop to it.
That purple color too that they use, man, it shows every last little. It's a
But
tough
this
cover
is
to
such an
have.
underrated book because it's a first appearance of tons of things.
Tons of
in there.
stuff, man.
Is it? Yeah.
First,
It's the first Nick Fury like that. As Shield.
I shield, the adjoint shield.
It's a,
First helicarrier, first Hydra.
They'd probably be $4 each. You know.
I wouldn't mind collecting the first series.
I wouldn't mind either.
The artwork is really nice.
Yeah,
it is.
not cheap though.
Big Barda there.
For a new book, not cheap.
Don't